Do you think of Facebook as a media company?
I think about it more as a technology company because on a day-to-day basis, what we're doing is building technology. But I mean, there's definitely this new kind of company that's like this hybrid technology media company, right? I mean, it used to be the companies in the technology industry built technology and sold their technology, right, as software. And now I think that there's this new wave of companies that are building technology, and the way that their revenue models work are through selling media. So, and it's interesting to see a lot of the kind of older school technology companies that used to sell technology now getting into media, like Microsoft, Apple. So I think that that's a really big trend.
That's interesting. You brought up the Nike's World Cup campaign, which is truly global. So is Facebook. And this is a very global audience. What do you know about Facebook around the world and how people use it around the world? Does it change from market to market, or what's interesting there?
Yeah, actually, the most interesting thing is a lot of people ask how it's different from country to country, and one of the more interesting things that we've found is that is how similar it is from country to country. And I think it really comes down to what the core need is that the service is addressing, which is that people want to stay connected with their friends and family. Everyone has friends and family. Everyone is part of a community. People want to see what's going on with the people in their community. And that's really similar across every country, right? And so I mean, you get differences, right? I mean, obviously, the things that people are marketing in different countries are a bit different. The applications that developers build are a bit different. I mean, the tube warning application we were talking about before in London obviously isn't something that would be applicable where I'm from, in Palo Alto. But I think by and large, people are using the service for the same things. And this principle about designing products around people, I think, is going to be fairly universal as well. And it's not only going to be Facebook. I think it's going to be every product, right? Every website, every mobile application. I mean, if you think about it, when you go to have a conversation with someone, if you know something about them going in, the more you know, the better of a conversation you can have, the better of kind of an interface you can have and you can provide. Now, I don't think the products and marketing are really any different, right? I mean, the more you're able to customize and personalize the products that you offer and the marketing that you have, I just think that the more effective it's going to be. And so this big trend of kind of people caring about and being able to have access to the people that they care about, having personalized stuff, I think is universal. That's why I think it's such a big market, and I don't think it's just Facebook.
Yeah. Are there any countries that have kind of interesting usage patterns that are particularly different? I mean, I think of places like India, where mobile penetration is really high, but people sitting behind a computer maybe is not so common.
Well, India's interesting because internet use is relatively small there for the size of the population. I think the last time I checked, it was around 40 million people on the internet, which is tiny compared to the population.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we're getting our first crop of countries now that interestingly have more mobile usage than web usage. And I think everyone just thinks that that's only a matter of time until that happens more universally. But it's kind of cool to see it start happening in some of these countries that are more mobile-centric.
Do you adapt to them? I mean, how does Facebook work in a mobile-centric country?
Well, one of the things that's interesting about building technology now is the platforms are pretty fragmented, right? I mean, when I got started in 2004, there was really no question I was going to build a website, right? I mean, software was kind of too hard to build, and I think most things were going to the web, so a lot of software development was on the way out, and mobile phones weren't penetrated enough yet, and the platforms weren't developed enough, so it's like, all right, you're going to build a website. Now, there are all these different mobile platforms, so building something now, you can't just build something in one place, right? You need to build something that fits in all these different places. So it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves over the next few years, but I don't think that there's a mobile platform yet, and I think that's one of the things that's holding back innovation there. Now, interestingly, the way that we focus on kind of our development platform is when people think about platforms, I think a lot of the time they think about a vertical, right? So for example, iPhone platform is an environment in which you can build iPhone apps and use a phone. The type of platform that we're trying to build is horizontal in that it spans across all of these, right? We're trying to build an environment where people can build people-centric applications and design stuff in this personalized way everywhere. Whether it's on the web, on Facebook, on your own websites, in mobile applications, across all platforms. And I think that that's going to be a really interesting type of platform to watch too. Because I mean, people are just engaging with all these things in so many different places. It's something that's new to the technology industry and probably a lot more familiar for you guys.
Even in the U.S., I mean, you know, we've seen the rise of smartphones over the last 2 or 3 years, you know, starting really with the iPhone, but now you've got the Android platform, all of these great platforms and fabulous devices, you know, little computers in your pocket. Are you seeing people, you know, use Facebook differently or more often, or any effect on that smartphones are having on Facebook?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly it's additive, right? So people who use these devices are much more engaged, right? And I just think it's a general thing about technology and efficiency is the early on, I think it's the notion that a lot of people have is, okay, well, if you could do something more easily, then you're going to spend less time on it, right? Because you can accomplish what you wanted in a smaller period of time because you're doing it more efficiently. But I mean, in economics, there's the concept of elasticity, right? When the efficiency of doing something goes up, the demand for it goes up. And I think that this applies not only to how people use Facebook, but to how marketing is going to work and how development is going to work as well, right? The easier it is to build products, the more people build products. The more effective the marketing gets, the more people are going to advertise. Right, and I think that's really good, right? It's gonna be one of the driving forces that gets more dialogue to happen in the world. Is that now there's such a lower cost and friction for people to go engage in dialogue, communicate with their friends, or communicate in a broader dialogue. It's a lot easier, and it's getting much more efficient for marketers to get their message out and engage with people in a really meaningful and authentic way. And I just think that's going to mean that people do more of it over time.